Hey everyone, welcome back to Hidden Headlines. First off, I want to apologize for the delay with this video. I've been traveling quite a bit lately, which threw off our usual schedule, but I'm back now and excited to dive into today's fascinating topic. Today we're exploring the powerful skyfathers of two of history's greatest civilizations, Zeus, the thunder-wielding king of the Greek pantheon, and Jupiter, his Roman counterpart. While many consider these gods to be simple translations of each other, their stories, worship, and cultural significance reveal fascinating differences that tell us much about the civilizations that revered them. From Zeus's complex family drama on Mount Olympus to Jupiter's role as the divine protector of Rome, we'll uncover how these supreme deities shaped not just religious practices but politics, art, and daily life in their respective societies. So grab your lightning bolts and eagle companions as we journey through ancient mythology to discover what made these divine kings similar, what set them apart, and why their legacy continues to thunder through our modern world. Thanks for watching Hidden Headlines, and let's get started.
Imagine a world shrouded in fear where every sunrise brings uncertainty and the people live under the shadow of a merciless ruler. This was the world of ancient Greece, long before the age of heroes and legends, when the mighty titan Cronus sat upon the throne of the cosmos. Cronus, driven by a deep and unrelenting paranoia, ruled with an iron fist, his power absolute and his heart cold. Cronus was haunted by a chilling prophecy. One of his own children would rise up and overthrow him, just as he had once overthrown his own father Uranus. Terrified of losing his power, Cronus took a horrifying step. He devoured each of his newborn children, swallowing them whole the moment they entered the world. The people whispered of his cruelty, and the gods themselves trembled at his name. The air was thick with anxiety, as even the immortals feared what Cronus might do next. Every birth was met with dread, every cry of a newborn a signal of impending doom. The prophecy loomed over Cronus like a storm cloud, fueling his desperation and deepening his tyranny. But Rhea, Cronus's wife and the mother of the gods, could not bear to lose another child. When her sixth child was born, she hatched a daring plan. With courage and cunning, Rhea hid her newborn son Zeus away from Cronus's watchful eyes, replacing him with a swaddled stone for Cronus to swallow instead. Far from the reach of Cronus, on the secretive island of Crete, baby Zeus was spirited away to a hidden cave. There, surrounded by the wild beauty of the mountains and shielded from danger, he began his life in secrecy, his true identity known only to a trusted few. In this secluded sanctuary, Zeus grew from a helpless infant into a strong and determined youth. He trained his body and mind, learning the ways of the world and the secrets of the gods, all while remaining hidden from his father's wrath. Zeus was nourished by the milk of the magical goat Amalthea and watched over by gentle nymphs who became his guardians and friends. They sang to him, played with him, and taught him the values of kindness and courage, shaping the character of the god he would become. As Zeus grew older, the fire of destiny burned within him. He knew that he could not remain hidden forever. When the time was right, Zeus emerged from his sanctuary, ready to confront his father and fulfill the prophecy that had haunted Cronus for so long. With wisdom and bravery, Zeus sought out his siblings, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, who had been trapped inside Cronus for years. With cunning and the help of a magical potion, Zeus freed his brothers and sisters, reuniting the family that Cronus had tried so desperately to destroy. But their struggle was far from over. The rescue of his siblings sparked a war unlike any the world had ever seen, a cataclysmic clash between the old gods, the Titans, and the new generation, the Olympians. The very earth shook as the two sides battled for supremacy. This was no ordinary family feud. It was a cosmic struggle for the fate of the universe itself, with thunderbolts splitting the sky and the forces of chaos and order colliding in a battle that would shape the destiny of gods and mortals alike. For 10 long years the war raged on, The Olympians, led by Zeus, fought with unwavering determination, while the Titans unleashed their ancient fury. The world trembled as mountains crumbled and oceans boiled, the outcome uncertain with every passing day. At last, after a decade of relentless conflict, Zeus and his allies emerged victorious. The Titans were defeated and cast down into the deepest, darkest chasms of Tartarus, forever imprisoned. With this triumph, Zeus claimed his place as the king of the gods, and a new era began for both gods and mortals. Victorious, after a long and brutal war against the Titans, Zeus rose to power and claimed his place as the supreme ruler of the gods. His triumph marked the beginning of a new era for both gods and mortals, as the old order was swept away and a new reign began. Zeus, with his commanding presence and thunderous authority, became the undisputed king of Mount Olympus. His palace was perched atop Mount Olympus, a majestic and mysterious peak shrouded in swirling clouds and mist. This legendary mountain was believed to be unreachable by mortals, a place where only the gods could dwell. The halls of Olympus were filled with splendor, echoing with the laughter and debates of the gods, and watched over by Zeus himself. From this lofty vantage point, Zeus ruled over both the heavens and the earth. He watched the world below, overseeing the lives of mortals and the actions of gods alike. His gaze was said to be all-seeing, missing nothing that happened in the realms beneath his throne. Zeus wielded the power of the skies. With a mere gesture he could summon storms, unleash torrential rains, or hurl mighty thunderbolts that split the sky. The ancient Greeks believed that every flash of lightning and rumble of thunder was a sign of Zeus's presence and his immense power. Yet, Zeus was more than just a force of nature. He was the embodiment of justice, order, and law. As the highest authority, he presided over the affairs of gods and men, ensuring that fairness prevailed and that wrongdoers were punished. His judgments were respected and feared by all. Under Zeus's rule, peace and harmony were maintained among the gods. He worked tirelessly to keep balance in the universe, preventing chaos from taking hold. The other gods looked to him for guidance, and mortals prayed for his favor, hoping for a life of prosperity and safety. With his wisdom and authority, Zeus often acted as a mediator, settling disputes and arguments among the gods. His decisions shaped the fate of Olympus and the world below, and his word was final. Even the most powerful deities respected his judgment. Zeus also watched over mortals, rewarding those who showed kindness, courage, and respect for the gods, while punishing those who acted with arrogance or cruelty. He was both a protector and a punisher, ensuring that the balance between good and evil was maintained. Despite his immense power and wisdom, Zeus was not without flaws. He could be quick-tempered, jealous, and sometimes even vengeful. His actions were not always just, and his personal desires often led to conflict and drama among gods and mortals alike. Zeus was also famous for his many love affairs, which often involved both goddesses and mortal women. These relationships were the source of countless stories, filled with passion, jealousy, and intrigue, and they often caused trouble both in the heavens and on earth. From these unions, many legendary heroes and demigods were born, figures like Hercules, Perseus, and Helen of Troy. Their adventures and destinies, shaped by Zeus's choices, became the foundation of Greek mythology, inspiring generations with tales of bravery, tragedy, and the enduring power of the gods. Zeus's adventures are legendary, echoing through the centuries as some of the most captivating tales in Greek mythology. As the king of the gods, Zeus was not only a powerful ruler, but also a complex figure, whose actions shaped the fate of gods and mortals alike. His stories are filled with drama, cunning, and moments of both justice and cruelty, reflecting the unpredictable nature of the sky itself. One of the most famous tales is that of Prometheus, the clever Titan who dared to defy Zeus. Prometheus, moved by compassion for humanity, stole fire from the gods and gifted it to mankind, giving them warmth, light, and the spark of civilization. This act of rebellion enraged Zeus, who saw it as a challenge to his authority and a disruption of the natural order. As punishment, Zeus devised a cruel fate for Prometheus. He was chained to a remote mountain cliff where each day an eagle, Zeus's own symbol, would swoop down and feast upon his liver. The organ would regenerate each night, ensuring Prometheus's torment was endless. This story not only highlights Zeus's power but also his capacity for vengeance and the high price of defying the gods. Another tale that reveals Zeus's influence is the myth of Pandora's box. To punish humanity for accepting fire, Zeus ordered the creation of Pandora, the first woman, and gave her a mysterious box or jar filled with all the world's evils. When Pandora, driven by curiosity, opened the box, suffering, disease, and sorrow escaped into the world, leaving only hope inside. This myth explains the origin of human hardship and the dual nature of hope and despair. Zeus's stories are not only about punishment and power, but also about desire and transformation. One of the most enchanting myths is that of Europa, a Phoenician princess whose beauty captivated Zeus. Determined to win her affection, Zeus transformed himself into a magnificent white bull, gentle and alluring. Europa, charmed by the bull's grace, climbed onto its back. In an instant, Zeus sprang into action, carrying her away from her homeland. The bull plunged into the sea, swimming across the sparkling Mediterranean waters, with Europa clinging to his back, both frightened and fascinated by the journey. Their voyage ended on the island of Crete, where Zeus revealed his true identity. Europa would become the mother of kings, and her name would live on, forever linked to the continent of Europe. This myth, while often told as a romantic adventure, also reveals Zeus's willingness to use his divine power to fulfill his desires, regardless of the consequences for mortals. Through these stories, we see Zeus as a god of contradictions, capable of great generosity and terrible wrath, a protector and a punisher, a lover and a deceiver. His lightning bolt was both a symbol of justice and a weapon of fear, reminding all of his supreme authority. The myths of Zeus were told and retold by ancient Greeks, passed down through generations in epic poems, plays, and stories shared in bustling marketplaces and grand amphitheaters. These tales were more than entertainment. They were a way for people to make sense of the world around them, to explain the mysteries of nature, fate, and the human heart. In the end, the stories of Zeus reveal not just the power of a god, but the hopes, fears, and imagination of an entire civilization. Through the actions of their sky god, the ancient Greeks explored the forces that shape their lives, finding meaning in the thunder, the stars, and the ever-changing sky above. Across the Mediterranean, another civilization worshipped a similar king of gods, Jupiter. The Romans, known for their pragmatism, adopted many Greek gods and gave them Roman names. Jupiter, like Zeus, was the god of the sky, thunder, and lightning. He was also the king of the gods, ruling from atop Mount Olympus, which the Romans adopted as well. The Romans saw Jupiter as the protector of Rome. They prayed to him for victory in battle and offered him sacrifices for good harvests. His temple on Capitoline Hill was the most important temple in Rome, a symbol of his power and influence. At first glance, Zeus and Jupiter appear almost identical. Both are powerful sky gods, ruling from Mount Olympus. Both command thunder and lightning. Both embody justice and order. Both are central figures in their respective mythologies. They share many of the same symbols: the thunderbolt, the eagle, the oak tree. Their stories often mirror each other. For example, the Roman myth of Jupiter and Europa is almost identical to the Greek version with Zeus. However, upon closer inspection, subtle but significant differences emerge. These differences reflect the unique characteristics of Greek and Roman culture. While the Greeks emphasized Zeus's role in individual stories and his often flawed personality, the Romans focused on Jupiter's role as a state god. Jupiter was a symbol of Roman power, law, and order. The Romans were less interested in Jupiter's personal life. They didn't dwell on his love affairs or his more capricious actions. Instead, they emphasized his role as a protector and a guarantor of their empire's success. These differences highlight a key distinction between Greek and Roman mythology. Greek myths tend to be more philosophical and explore complex human emotions. Roman myths are more pragmatic, focusing on duty, morality, and the state. Thousands of years after the fall of these ancient civilizations, Zeus and Jupiter continue to captivate our imaginations. Their stories are retold in books, movies, and plays. Their images adorn art, architecture, and even our language. Why do these ancient gods still resonate with us today? Perhaps it's because their stories speak to universal human experiences: love, loss, betrayal, triumph. Or maybe it's their sheer power and majesty that continue to awe and inspire us. Whatever the reason, Zeus and Jupiter remain enduring symbols of power, wisdom, and the enduring allure of mythology. They remind us of the power of storytelling and the timeless questions about humanity's place in the universe.
And there you have it, the tale of two thundering sky gods who, despite their similarities, reveal so much about their respective civilizations through their differences. Whether commanding the heights of Mount Olympus or presiding over the Roman state religion, Zeus and Jupiter embody the values, fears, and aspirations of the people who worship them. Their enduring presence in our art, literature, and cultural consciousness speaks to how deeply these divine figures resonate with human experience. I hope this comparison has given you a new appreciation for these mythological kings and the rich cultures that created them. If there are other divine comparisons you'd like to see in future videos, drop your suggestions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell to stay updated on new Hidden Headlines content. Thanks for your patience during my travels, and thank you for watching Hidden Headlines. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the past.